Hey everyone, Jamie here, Nomadic Rev. Welcome back to the channel. And today, or tonight, this afternoon, I want to pose this question to you. Is social media worth it anymore? Is using social media worth it anymore? Now, full disclosure, I do have some social media accounts that I use, but this is something I was thinking about today, and it's an interesting thought process. So I was looking through just my different social media accounts, and I came to the realization that I've been using social media, I think, for 10 years this year. 10 years ago was the very first time I opened a Facebook account. And that was only a couple years after it started. And since then, I've tried a lot of the other social media sites, and I have some that I like better than others. But obviously, right now, I've been spending a lot of time on YouTube because I've been looking for an outlet like YouTube to just come on and not only share about the minimalist lifestyle and having a camper van, but also just kind of think out loud, process out loud. And so a lot of you have commented that you like these types of videos, so hopefully you stick around. Anyways, so is social media worth it still? So here's the thing. If you look at what's happening right now in our country, there's an interesting comparison between what's happening in the economy and social media. And here's what I mean. Let's take gold and silver, for instance. The reason that gold and silver have value, right, is because it's rare. You have to, they're not making more of it, as the age-old adage goes. Whereas with dollar bills, money, now, we're just printing it. We're just making it up out of thin air. And so gold and silver typically have more value because it's rare. And so what does that tell you? Well, what that tells me is that things that are unique, things that are rare, are more valuable. But stop and think about it. Any 15-year-old dude or girl or whatever you want to call it, anybody, not to pick on 15-year-olds, anybody with an email address, a computer, or a smartphone now can have a social media account, and they can post whatever they want. And we all know that a lot of people do. They post whatever they want. So the question that I've been thinking about today is, doesn't that potentially mean that social media posts have less value if anybody and everybody can use it? And I want to know what you think, so leave me a comment below, because it's an interesting hypothesis. The other thing is, they've actually found that it's very, very difficult to get anyone to change their mind on social media. So most people who post, controversial things or post about politics on their social media, there's a high probability that the people that are seeing those posts, the only people that are going to engage with that or leave positive feedback are those that agree with them. And obviously other people will leave negative comments. But my point is that they found that when you post on social media, typically it caters to an audience that already agrees with what you're saying. So typically most people do not change their minds from a social media post, which again, I think begs the question, is social media still worth it? It'd be interesting to know what the value is of a Facebook post or a tweet or an Instagram post, because there's so much content now. There's so much being put out every single day. And I can't remember how many people join Facebook every day, but it's a ton. And obviously a lot of people quit Facebook as well. But so the question here, so this is, I don't want to ramble on too long, but here's what my thought process is. You know how if you go on Facebook, it says what's on your mind, with the ticker waiting for you to post something? What if sharing what's on your mind is wasted on Facebook? In other words, because you don't know the people, and even through YouTube to a certain extent, you don't know the people, right? You don't personally know them. You don't have a relationship with them. It's virtual. Is it a waste of an idea or a thought or whatever to post something on social media now? In other words, if you just have an acquaintance at work, or like maybe you have a neighbor you've met once or twice, you're not going to go like tell them everything about who you are. You're not going to go over and be like, hey, here's what I think about what's happening in the world today, because you haven't built any sort of relationship with that person. So why would we post about it on social media? That's the thing I'm thinking is it actually silly? Is it actually a waste to post your idea? And I understand, like, that's kind of what I'm doing right now via YouTube, but it's an interesting thing to think about. And what is the value of a post on social media? Is it valuable, and how valuable is it? And here's why I think it matters. If it's not that valuable, and yet we know that social media can be detrimental, or not psychologically, but to our mental health, then why keep up with the charade, so to speak? And anyways, it's just an interesting thing to think about. I'd love to know what you think in the comments below. Is social media really worth it? I like a lot of these younger people who are quitting social media. That really intrigues me, that they are kind of walking away from it all. Anyways, those are my thoughts. Have a great night.